Your East Texas Forecast First is brought to you by Roberts & Roberts, attorneys at law.
Oh, we've seen lots of cloudiness for this election day, but no rain. That's going to change late tonight, but not until after the polls close. You see the mostly cloudy skies. There's been some occasional sun. We are 74 Tyler, 73 in Longview, 77 Nacogdoches, 76 in Lufkin. Again, if you are heading on out, if you hadn't had a chance to vote yet, at 6 o'clock, 72, at 7 o'clock, 71. Mostly cloudy, but no rain. Your news starts right now.
Local, experienced, trusted. This is KETK Live at 5.
Hi, folks, and good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for the Election Day coverage of KETK's Live at 5. I'm Neil Barton. Top story is this. KETK News is your local election headquarters, and boy, what a fascinating election has been so far. We're not even counting the votes yet. The polls will close in 2 hours from right now, 7 o'clock. Thousands of people have already voted at polling places across East Texas, and last-minute voters should be showing up between now and 7 p.m. to have their say in this very historic midterm election. There are very important bond elections for schools and public safety that affect our pocketbooks here in East Texas. And as you know, the Cruz O'Rourke Senate race has put Texas in the national spotlight again. It will get to the balance of power in Congress in just a few moments right now. But the first thing we'll do right now is check out our team coverage by tracking the turnout in our local races. KETK's Garrett Sanders right now is at the Smith County Election Hub. Trent Bennett is with Republican leadership, and Daniel Pierce is with the Democratic Party right now. It's going to be meeting tonight. So, Garrett, you're hearing from voters who are pretty excited about this election.
Yeah, Neil, we've seen a record number of early voting numbers here in East Texas. There are still many who want to make today a special occasion. Now, we've had crews in Gregg County as well as here in Smith County catching up with people who made their way to the ballot box. Across the state, we've seen some counties have more early voting than entire recent midterm elections. And the passion's definitely here. And you can hear it in the voice of those who wanted to exercise that right on Election Day. And they seem to be able to notice a different feel to these midterms.
Well, I always vote in elections anyway, but this is probably the most important midterm elections that I can remember in my lifetime. It seems like our country's divided right now.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts. You can't complain about something if you don't get out and vote. So exercise that right to vote, and we earned it. So make sure you get out and do it.
Now, if you haven't voted yet, be sure to do so fairly quickly. Like I said, the lines will close at 7, but if you get to your polling place before 7 o'clock, you will be allowed to vote no matter what time it ends up being. Of course, if you want to find your polling location, you go to our website, easttexasmatters.com. Reporting live in Tyler, Garrett Sanders, KETK News.
You know, time is running out. Just another gentle reminder. Polls close at 7 o'clock. You still got 2 hours. KETK's Trent Bennett right now joining us live from the Potpourri House in Tyler, where East Texas Republicans are gathering tonight for their party. So, Trent, their main theme is keeping Texas values.
Neil, and that's right. And they're pretty optimistic that those Texas values will continue to remain the same this election. We've covered several of these campaign trails that have cruised through East Texas, and all of them have had a similar tone to get behind what Texas and what Texans have worked so hard for what Texas has become.
I do need your vote. I really do. You know.
Your key races that have the most attention tonight is that one of the battle for House Representatives District 1. Louis Gohmert there right now. Republicans believe that he will continue to serve that role as he has for the last 13 years. Democrats hope their candidate, Shirley McKellar, can pull the upset. The one that has Republicans worried the most is the race for junior senator. That seat as Congressman Beto O'Rourke has garnered quite the following, that he's a true challenger to upset Ted Cruz, and that's what worries them the most. Now, this race between these two has been a lot closer than the others, and it's one that has the Republicans worried the most about those Texas values changing.
There's a phrase that I hear all the time: as Texas goes, so goes the rest of the country. I feel like when I've been watching the news and talking to people and really having these conversations with people, people are concerned that the values that have shaped Texas, that make us so strong in our economics, that make us so strong in families wanting to move here. So when we look at that possibly changing, you know, does the voice, does the shape of Texas start to change?
And the answer from Republicans tonight is that should their candidates not win, their voice and shape of the state will also change. Now, the main thing that we're hearing from the Republican Party is to vote your heart, vote your values, vote your family values that brought you up right here in this great state of Texas, and they hope that that will be enough to keep Texas red. Of course, we'll have more on the key races up in our 6 o'clock hour right here. Reporting live, Trent Bennett, KETK News.
So it's already Christmas time there at the Potpourri House. We will also be following the Smith County Democratic Party as the votes are counted tonight. KETK's Daniel Pierce right now joins us live from the Roast Social Kitchen where they're going to be gathering. So Daniel, what are they hoping for?
That's right, Neil. They're hoping for change in power. The Democrats say that going into tonight, they are optimistic and hopeful for what the future brings after the last vote is counted. And already in Austin, Dallas, as well as Houston, they've seen record-breaking turnout from Democrats than in any other midterm. And here in East Texas, the Democrats are hoping to keep that blue wave up. Among some of the key races that they are keeping an eye on tonight is that for the battle of House Representative for District 1 here in Texas. Veteran Shirley McKellar is looking to upseat Congressman Louis Gohmert, who has held the seat since 2005. McKellar has been highly critical of the representative's time in office, specifically over his handling of health care when he refused to hold a town hall meeting in East Texas. The other key race, Congressman Beto O'Rourke going up against Senator Ted Cruz. Now, this race has been tight in the polls and the debates have been intense, and much has been called into question about both candidates. But after casting his vote, the Congressman O'Rourke says that he is confident in his base.
I have so many amazing volunteers that we are working with, knocking on millions of doors, making that human-to-human connection that we are in such desperate need of at this moment of division in the country. Bringing people together, I feel it, and so yeah, feels good.
Now, among the millions of Texans that have helped out, several East Texans have stepped in, volunteered their time. Here they were out and about yesterday going door to door, and a lot of those volunteers are young college-age voters. Now, the main target for both parties has been targeting voters that are new, undecided, or haven't voted in an election in quite some time. Now, other key races that the Democrats are keeping an eye on is that of Governor of Texas with Lupe Valdez, as well as Lieutenant Governor with Mike Collier, and that of Texas Attorney General with Justin Nelson. Now, while we were out here at Roast Social Kitchen, I was told by the manager, and they stress this, that they do not endorse any candidate. They are simply holding a watch party where the Democrats are keeping an eye on those close races. Live in Tyler, Daniel Pierce, KETK News.
All eyes are on that Cruz-O'Rourke Senate race. KETK Steffi Lee right now reports from Cruz Camp in Houston, where they'll be watching the results tonight.
Republicans are confident that Senator Ted Cruz will keep his seat, but both parties aren't taking these last few hours before the polls close for granted. Senator Cruz's campaign is making last-minute preparations for a watch party in Houston. Experts predict the race will be close, though they predict Cruz will keep his seat. Congressman O'Rourke's campaign is in El Paso tonight. He spoke with supporters and reporters after he voted.
Texas is not going to be, it's not going to be defined by our fears. We're going to be governed by our ambitions. We're going to be fiercely focused on the future, and we're going to do this together. We just do not care about the differences between us right now.
You know, the reality is that there's winning and losing, and close only counts in two cases: when you're playing horseshoes and with hand grenades. You know, a win is a win, and so we're going to have a win tonight. We're going to have a win in the governor's race, in the Senate race, statewide constitutional offices, state legislature, the majority of the congressional delegation.
We'll continue to bring you the latest results and reaction from both campaigns throughout the evening. In Houston, Steffi Lee, back to you.
Now, that race is part of the national conversation about the balance of power in Congress. So now we'll continue our team coverage with KETK's Rachel Hackbar. She has a look at some of the other races in the spotlight right now.
Neil, today voters here and around the country are joining the record 35 million who voted early. More money was spent on this midterm than any in history.
In what are typically known as off-year elections, this year across the country, crowded precincts tell a different story.
The line has never been this long. Oh my God, this is the election you have to vote for.
After hard-fought campaigns, candidates starting the day casting their own ballots.
Just get out and vote. Make your voice heard.
From the tight governor's race in Florida,
I guess I can reveal, cast a vote for myself,
to the congressional contest in Northern Virginia. Republican Barbara Comstock fighting to keep her seat.
We feel great. We feel really energized.
Democrats looking for a net gain of 23 seats to control the House, and the Senate 2 more seats, driving voters issues like health care, immigration, and jobs. But perhaps the biggest motivator, President Trump.
Was Trump a factor in your vote?
absolutely.
The first national referendum on his time in office.
This election is going to be a very important tell as to which direction America wants to go.
At this precinct in Tennessee, a storm and power outage not enough to stop voters who cast their ballots in the dark.
The batteries work on the machines and you can see clear.
Many refusing to have their voices silenced in a race making history even before the votes are counted.
And where's President Trump this evening? He's at the White House. Officials say that he has cleared a schedule to watch the results come in. Reporting live in the studio, Rachel Hackbarth, KTK News.
KTK's Matt Thibodeau right now live in deep East Texas, covering this election down there. So Matt, when this election is said and done, what happens to all those signs down there?
That's right, Neil. I'm actually here at Calvary Baptist Church in Nacogdoches. It's one of several polling places, and in just under 2 hours, it, like the others, will be no longer acceptable. You won't be able to vote at them anymore. After the elections, you'll have about 10 days, actually you'll have 10 days to remove your signs. Signs placed around businesses and shopping centers are typically picked up by their campaign workers. But as for signs in your yard, you can bring them to your respective party's headquarters or just hang on to them. And if you want to repurpose them, well, your imagination is the limit. I actually heard there's a county commissioner who likes to use them for target practice. It is deer season after all. So we'll just see what people do with them. Reporting live in Nacogdoches, Matt Thibodeau, KTK News.
The Department of Justice has sent election monitors to 3 Texas counties just to make sure that everything is up to snuff complying with the federal voting rights law. Now, those counties are Harris, that's Houston, Tarrant, Fort Worth area, and Waller, that's the Houston area as well. Now, here at KTK all day long, political experts have been stopping by our studios this day. A professor from UT Tyler and the League of Women Voters spoke about early voting.
People are enthusiastic across the board, Republicans, Independents, Democrats. The idea is we saw overall more than 80% of the people say that it was significantly important or extremely important to participate in this election.
Better understanding of all of the issues and how those issues affect them, and really understanding that their voice is important.
Now, here are some of the other East Texas races we're watching very closely. Incumbent Congressman Louis Gohmert once again running against Democrat Shirley McKellar to represent the Texas 1st Congressional District. Another congressional race, this one for District 5. We're talking about Republican Lance Gooden facing Democrat Dan Wood in that race. And for Congressional Seat 4, all 3 candidates on the ballot, John Ratcliffe, he's from the Rockwall area. We also have Catherine Krantz and Ken Ashby. 2 to choose from to the ballot for State Rep District 6, Matt Schaefer and Neil Katz. And East Texas voters have 2 candidates on the ballot for District 5 in the Texas House seat. That's Republican Cole Hefner facing Democrat Bill Levy in hopes of winning his 2nd term. Also running for State Rep, incumbent Travis Clardy facing Alec Johnson for the District 11 race. Be sure to tune in for the up-to-the-minute results tonight. Now, after the polls close, 7 p.m., the numbers are starting to be released. You'll see a special ticker on the bottom of the screen. In addition to our website, EastTexasMatters.com, we have created a special site just for election content. It's called ETXVotes.com. You'll also see results on the bottom of our Facebook page and our KTK mobile app. We'll also have live updates about East Texas state races between 7 and 9, and our in-depth coverage kicking off at 9 o'clock on both KTK and Fox 51. Up next, some other news for this day. Duncan Hines has a recall. Find out what the item the company is pulling from store shelves. And stolen from their yard. A scary moment for a stranger there taking the family's precious puppy.
Then she pulled the fence up and drug him out. And he was gone.
Yeah. What the family did to get their furry family member back when KTK's Live at 5 rolls along.
And the weather certainly cooperated on this election day with warm temperatures. Hope you've enjoyed them, though. Boy, is it going to get cold over the next few days, and we're in for a lot more rain. A lot to talk about after the break.
You're watching KETK Live at 5 with Neil Barton and Chief Meteorologist Scott Chesner.